Garmajoba. So today I got a new video. I don't really have a good name for it, I guess. Maybe it is a good name, but we'll call it demographics. Basically just some information on, basically just going to give you some facts on Georgia, not so much history or culture, but maybe facts that you can use to help you decide to move to the country. Maybe you're looking for more than just a beautiful country with cheap houses, cheap living costs. Maybe you want something more. Maybe you want to open up a business, or maybe if you're a younger person, you don't want to go to a place where maybe there's old people. If you're an old person, maybe you don't want to go to a country where there's mostly young people. It's like some people, they don't want to go to islands because they think they're trapped on an island. They can't really get the island fever, or they can't go anywhere. They think they're just a small little area, and it seems most people don't leave more than 20 miles from the house anyway. But now these days we have airplanes, so it's not too difficult to move around. But a little information about Georgia. Maybe this will help you decide either to come or not to come. Basically, Georgia is bordered by 4 other countries. So Georgia is quite a small country, but you're not trapped like you would be maybe on like an island. It's not really landlocked. There's some ocean, but if you need to see something else, a different culture, explore a little bit more, like I said, there's 4 countries. First one, it's kind of alphabetical order, but Armenia is just to the south, pretty easy drive. I think most Tbilisi is maybe 2 hours from Armenia. Also Azerbaijan, I don't know if I said that properly, but that's also pretty close to the south. You got Russia to the north. That could be a little more tricky to get into, depending on what country you're from. And then you have Turkey to the west. Turkey to the west. So that's pretty easy to get into Turkey back and forth. So it's many different cultures there. You got maybe a little Islamic culture. You got some Russian culture. So you get a little bit of everything if you need to, or if you get tired, if you want to travel, do more traveling. Of course, Russia is a giant country, so plenty of travel there. But Georgia is not landlocked. They have an ocean, the Black Sea. Actually, it would be a sea, not an ocean. But they have a coastline of 310 kilometers. So it's a pretty big coastline. I don't know how much coastline you need, but pretty big coastline. So there's plenty of things to see and do on the coast if you want. If you prefer the ocean, Batumi's. There's many cities on the ocean. I keep saying ocean, on the Black Sea, but Batumi is one of the most famous. So it's also possible to get an apartment there if you want to live there. If you like the ocean life, be right on the coast. It's also closer to if you want to get into Turkey, go back and forth to Turkey, or even have another house in Turkey. Batumi's very close to the border of Turkey, so I think it's maybe within a half hour you're in Turkey by driving. So it's plenty of coastline. So if you need salt water, you got it. The highest point in Georgia is 5,193 meters. So the lowest point would be the Black Sea, of course. It's sea level. And then we got very high areas, big mountains. 5,000 meters is quite tall. So if you just like to look at tall mountains, got them. If you're interested in climbing, maybe you want to start a new hobby. You can do some hiking or climbing in the mountains. Plenty of mountains to do that. Basically, the average elevation is about 1,400 meters. So there's mountains and hills all throughout Georgia. So you can, basically almost wherever you live, you can see mountains. There's a lot of flat areas, but even some flat areas are still at a high elevation. So you get maybe a little bit cooler weather. In the towards the Black Sea, actually they grow a lot more oranges. Mandarin oranges are kind of famous. They grow there. So you can, if you're thinking about having your own little farm where you want to grow some of your own fruits and vegetables, and I'll do a video on it in the future where you can, which area might be best for you. We'll describe some of the different areas, and they're more mountain, they're more humid, they're more snow, more rain. We'll talk about that coming up. So maybe you like I said, maybe you like oranges, so you might want to live closer to the sea. So there's many things you can choose from that. Also forest. So why it's a beautiful country. It's about almost 40% of Georgia has forest. So a lot of trees, a lot of forests, a lot of hiking. If you want to get your house in the forest or near the forest, you can do that. Plenty of forests around everywhere in the country, or even by Batumi, which is on the Black Sea. There's forest there. So plenty of forest. So bad things. How about something bad about Georgia? Got to give you the good and the bad. Natural hazards. Some places have hurricanes, tornadoes. What's the problem with Georgia? It's almost all over the world, actually. It's not every day. I lived in Indonesia, and especially Bali, you get earthquakes every day. In Florida, in the U.S., you get a hurricane season. I think it's August till December, but 3-4 months of hurricanes. So Georgia, they get snow. I don't know if you call that a hazard. I guess it could be for driving, but where you have a weak roof. But the natural hazard in Georgia, earthquakes. They don't have a lot of earthquakes. I don't think they have a lot of really big earthquakes. Like I said, they're not very often. There are some areas in Georgia that are more prone than other areas to have earthquakes, but I think they're quite few and far between. Probably more similar to like living in the U.S. if you're from the U.S. Like in California. Actually, they probably have less earthquakes in California. You can maybe I'll do a video on the earthquakes. I have actually there's a website you can look at for earthquakes and keep up to date on earthquakes. But they had a couple of big ones in Georgia. They had a couple of big ones in the U.S. They have a couple of big ones everywhere every now and then. But it's not every day, not every week, not every month. They're kind of rare. So something to worry about, of course, but not too much to worry about. Kind of interesting information, which you might be interested, maybe not, but someone will be. The world's 4 deepest caves in the whole world are all in Georgia. So maybe, like I said, if you want to do some mountain climbing, that could be your new hobby or a sport. But then you can do the opposite, and you want to get into spelunking, do some caving. They got the 4 deepest caves in the whole world in Georgia, so plenty of caves to check out if you're interested in that, or maybe you want to get interested in that. But a lot of different things you can do. Like I said, you got the salt water, the Black Sea, you got the 5,000 meter mountains, you got deepest caves in the world. You want to go up or down or just sea level. They got it all in Georgia. So I mentioned kind of earlier, the might help you choose where you want to go is maybe the age of the people. I think Japan has quite older population, so maybe if you're young, it might not be the best place. I don't know. It depends how you look at it. Doesn't really matter to me that much, but basically 40% of the population is between the ages of 25 and 54 in Georgia. So if you're in that age range, I guess, maybe it make you feel more comfortable. I don't know. But it's kind of a younger population, obviously. So maybe if you're in the healthcare field, you might think about that. Maybe, obviously, they're 25 to 54. They're going to start getting older, so it might be something to look at. Maybe you have another type of business that's geared towards more younger people. Maybe you're interested in opening a bar or restaurant. I think that's a good demographic, those ages. People want to go out. They want to drink. They want to dance, nightclubs, things like that. If you're looking at some type of tourism. So those are basically the information I have for you. Help you decide if Georgia's the place for you. It's a place for me. That's why I say come on home. I consider Georgia home. People are quite friendly. You got a pretty diverse population. Actually, some of the things I written down I forgot to talk about was just quickly, the capital is Tbilisi, of course. That's where you got most of the people. You have about 3,730,000 people in Tbilisi. It's not the biggest capital, not the biggest city in the world either, but if you want a smaller place to live in, smaller capital, not as busy, still gets busy, still a little traffic jams, but that's capital, that's where most people live. The density per square kilometer is 53.5 people. So you can see not a lot of people crammed in there, like maybe like New York City or Tokyo or some of the bigger cities in the world. The urban population is 59%. The rural population will be 41%. Life expectancy for males is 69.8 years old. For females, it's 78.4. So if you're a woman, you want to live a little bit longer, Georgia might be the place for you. Literacy for males, age 15 and above, is 99.8%. So pretty smart population. The females is 99.7%. So they're people to think, people to know they can work. If you want to open up a business there, you need employees, that might be the place for you. Religion, talk a little bit about religion. I don't know if that's important to you or not, but for some people it might be. Christianity is 88.1%. Islam, 10.7%. So Tbilisi, the capital, has about 1,253,000 people. The second biggest city would be Batumi, 137,100 people. Kutaisi is the next third biggest city with 241,100 people. Rostavi, next city, 158,000 people. Then you got Gori, about 70,000 people. So outside Tbilisi, the population drops quite a bit. So that's another way you can maybe choose if you want a big city, or maybe it's not a big enough city for you. So you can always go somewhere else. But the terrain is mostly rugged and mountainous, as we talked about earlier, with the elevation and the mean elevation. Climate, generally moderate, Mediterranean on the Black Sea, cold in the mountains. Of course, they have a lot of mountains, but if you're not living in the mountains, it's not going to be so cold. You want it colder, they got mountains. Let's see, ethnic groups. 70.1% are Georgian. 8.1% is Armenian. It's right across the border, so it makes a little sense. Russian is only 6.3%. Which is kind of interesting since it used to be a part of Russia. And other is 5%, so they have a pretty good mixture of different people. The GDP per capita, $4,769. So there's not a lot of people, most people don't make a lot of money in Georgia, which could be considered good if you maybe want to open up a business, especially international business. You would pay probably lower wages, make more money. Of course, you pay people that work well more money. They usually work better for you, so it depends on how you do business. But most people don't make a lot of money in Georgia, so a lot of people are bringing their businesses over to Georgia, do international business. So a lot of businesses you can open up. So that's about all the facts I have now. I forgot about those other late facts. But there you have it. Does that help you decide Georgia's the place for you? Maybe the information was makes you think of going somewhere else. Maybe you need a bigger city, bigger country. I don't know. Like I said, it's bordered by 4 other countries, so it's easy to fly off somewhere on the weekends, or drive across the border on the weekends, or take a week off, or you could have a house in Armenia. You could live in both places, or you could do what they call the trifecta. You could have a house in Turkey also. I don't know about getting a house in Russia, but Turkey, not too difficult to get a house. Armenia, not too difficult to have a house and buy property. So many things you can do. Hope that gave you some information. Hope that makes you want to come to Georgia. Let me know. Thanks for watching.